Hello guys, welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be going over the extreme wind threat and snow threat for tonight into tomorrow. Tonight is currently March 4th, 2025, and tomorrow will be March 5th. Uh, Currently it looks like there's going to be a very major windstorm coming. As you can see, the low starts to deepen, and the pressure starts to drop on the surface low, and you really get some extreme winds. Here, let me get a hold of this thing real quick. All right. So watch as this low starts to deepen. You see that? That's basically like an eye of a hurricane, but it's surface. It's a land surface hurricane basically, a surface low portion. But as you can see, these are the wind gusts. 60 miles per hour. Boom! Right as that thing starts to deepen really well, you get up to 70, 80 mile per hour according to this model. Wind gusts, and as you can see, it starts to push up into Iowa overnight and northern Missouri. A lot of this area right here as we start getting into even overnight hours and even tomorrow morning. Really, that low starts to deepen around 1 a.m., 2 a.m. tonight, and then as we get further east and a little later, around 7, 8 a.m. tomorrow is whenever the main stuff's going to be in Iowa, which is the morning commute. So you really want to be careful. At dangerous, very dangerous wind speeds. From that, we're also going to go see the temperature, which, as you can see, when that low starts to deepen, look at that. That's exceptional. Basically like an eye of a hurricane. I mean, look at how that temperature gradient is. It wraps around like that. Very deep low. It's actually lower than a lot of tropical storms end up getting. But as you can see, the temperatures start to crash, and you get that cold front to come through, and you get just sub 30, just below 30, looks like, and then overnight, obviously back down to 20s. But looking like 30s are about the high tomorrow. But with the wind chill, of course, we're going to have a major wind chill impact due to this extreme wind. And as you can see, in the lower teens, 13 or so. This is tomorrow afternoon, by the way. About 9 degrees as we start getting overnight hours, and then the wind starts to die off a little bit. But yeah, overnight's can be very dangerous for these winds. You definitely want to get everything inside that could blow away, especially if you're in southwestern Iowa. Look at that. I mean, we're talking almost 80 mile per hour wind gusts in Kansas City around 1 or 2 a.m. tonight. This is a very major, very historic, honestly, um, low pressure system. Here, let me go switch to the precipitation type. As you can see, we also are going to have a snowstorm tonight for a lot of portions. But there, you can see the low pressure system right there. And as that pressure starts to drop, look at that. We're getting 984, and look at that the thing starts to drop to 974, and look how it starts to wrap around like that, and the wind starts to pick up really hard. It drops south like that, but then it starts to die out and switches. But as you can see, as that thing starts to deepen, we get stronger winds, and that snow really starts to intensify there. But it looks like for northwest Iowa, we're going to get a lot more snow than southeastern Iowa. But as you can see, about 5 to 6 a.m., there's a small chance of some rain-snow mix during the morning hours and a little bit later in the morning commute. We'll have to see how that can manage with the temperatures, because we will be nearing freezing. As you can see, 30 should keep it snow for the most part, but the ground should still stay decently warm with how it's been pretty warm the last couple days here. And then this model shows, let's see the snowfall totals. Next, we're going to check National Weather Service stuff, which I trust a little more than some of these models. But we're going to first check this. As you can see, 2 to 3 inches in Centerville areas. Kirksville areas looking like maybe 1 to 2 at most. And then you can see northwest Iowa getting almost 8 inches in some of these areas, and up to 11, it says, up in southern Minnesota, which likely won't get that much. But this is during the time, this is falling when that extreme winds is happening. Here, let me go check that back out. As you can see, some very heavy snow as this is happening. This is 10 p.m. tonight, and watch. This is what the wind gusts are at that exact time in that exact area. I mean, you see the 70 mile per hour wind gusts are overlapped with pretty heavy snow. So that's going to be some extreme blizzard-like conditions, or not blizzard-like conditions, blizzard conditions for a lot of portions of northeastern Kansas, northwestern Missouri, southeastern Nebraska, and just western Iowa in general as that low starts to deepen overnight. So now we're going to look at the National Weather Service wind forecast. These were made at 11 a.m. and it ends at 11 a.m. tomorrow. As you can see, they're all projecting almost 70 mile per hour. I'm likely one of these two areas is 70 miles per hour. In northwestern Kansas and northeastern Kansas and northwestern Missouri. In western Iowa, they're up to 60. Southeastern Iowa and southern Iowa up to 50, almost 60 in some of these areas, especially near Kirksville and Centerville. Here looks like 57 is their max, but I'd even say up near Unionville we're looking at almost 60 mph wind gusts. The day one max temperatures today are 56, and the minimum temperatures tonight are 27. Tomorrow's max temperature is 34 degrees, and as we look, their 48-hour snowfall total is just under 2 inches for these areas, and up there it shows about 6 to 7. Now, if we're looking at this is the hazards map. This orange is blizzard warnings. Much of the western Iowa, northwestern Iowa, and these areas that I mentioned before in blizzard warnings, which we'll go over that in a second, the summary for that, and also this little brownish kind of thing is the high wind warnings, which we'll also go over that right now. So the high wind warning is in effect until from 9 p.m. this evening until 3 p.m. Wednesday. North winds from 30 to 40 mph are likely, that's continual wind, that's not gust. Gust up to 65 mph, so that'll be possible tomorrow. And central Iowa just says it's part of Iowa. Damaging winds will blow down trees and power lines. Widespread power outages are expected. Travel will be difficult, especially for high-profile vehicles. And there's also blizzard warning, obviously. And this is for central Iowa. And let me go check the. They don't have the southern Iowa. Oh wait, here's the northern Missouri one. Let's go check out the northern Missouri. So this is for northwestern Missouri, St. Joseph, and that kind of area around there. Up to 70 mph wind gusts are possible, and that's 9 p.m. till 6 p.m. Wednesday, so even longer than the other one. Now we're going to check out the blizzard warning. The blizzard warning sprung early spring system is set to affect Iowa later today and tonight. Rain will quickly change from rain to snow. Blizzard conditions are expected. Snow accumulation of 3 to 6 inches in northwest Iowa, and even more in the Minnesota border, and winds up to 65 miles per hour are possible. 9 p.m. to 3 p.m. Same thing. Visibilities may drop below a quarter mile due to falling and blowing snow. This is all for western Iowa though. Like I mentioned, this orange portion. So it's not as much for our area, but overnight we will have a little bit of an issue of some blowing snow, especially in the morning commute. So that definitely could impact our morning commute for school tomorrow and work. Now for National Weather Service forecast, like I already showed you guys the other one, but here we're going to look at this one a little bit better. And this forecast is showing around trace to 2 inches. So obviously that's a pretty big jump that for this southern Iowa portion, because who knows, it could die out a little bit or the temperature could be a little too warm. But for northern Iowa, 4 to 7 inches, 5 to 8 in some areas, 4 to 7 widespread with that wind tonight. 1 to 3 in Lamoni, and then Sheraton 2 to 3, and I'd say Centerville's probably around 1 to 3 also. Kirksville's probably more like trace to 1. Doesn't look like too much for this area, snow-wise at least. No ice accumulations, which is good. Let's go check out the hazardous storm severity index. As you can see, very moderate impacts just because of the wind speeds. It's not as necessarily much of a big snow event as it is just purely a wind event like this. So the National Weather Service weather story, as we can see right here, currently states that Estherville get up to 60 mph wind gust around 12 a.m. tonight. Now Ottumwa, which is be very close to Centerville's, so it's 53 around 9 from about 3 a.m. till noon is when we get that 50 mph wind gusts, which it could likely be higher than that because it still says sustained wind gust up to 65, sustained to 30 to 40. So that's a very extreme sustained winds. Now blizzard conditions, as you can see, rain basically all night until about midnight whenever Ottumwa starts to switch over, and then it becomes a little bit more snow. Now for northern Iowa, looks like it's going to rain until about 3 p.m. and then about 6 p.m. it's going to become a mix, and then 9 p.m. it's going to be heavy snow, and then it should snow throughout the very early a.m. hours and then kind of taper off in the early mornings. Same with a lot of northwestern Iowa. Heavy snow looks like midnight and a little bit after, and then around 6 a.m. it kind of tapers off for a lot of these areas. I'd say definitely our area will be the later on snow for that kind of thing. But yeah, that's about it for this video. Please stay safe. It looks like we're going to have a very major and possibly historic low pressure system, as you can see as it lows deep in here, which is very impressive. I mean, this is probably one of the most cool looking low pressure systems I've seen in a while. Let me go look. Let me go see if I can find a really cool looking map that would show it in a better way. I think temperature was probably one of the coolest, but there's probably a better one that would look even cooler. Let's see what satellite looks like. I think satellite would look pretty. No, that's pretty cool. Look at that. I definitely be posting some pictures of the satellite view when this thing starts to deepen tonight as it gets to about 10 p.m. But as you can see, look at that thing. really starts to look like a hurricane basically. Very low pressure, very high, very extreme low pressure system, possibly historic. It's very interesting, these kind of systems like this. But and also I forgot to mention the severe weather threat for today is basically tapered off for anything for southern Iowa. So the main threat tonight will be this wind and snow that is very, very, very likely to occur now. But we'll have to see what happens here. This trough is ejection like that, and boom, look at that thing. That's crazy. That low pressure system's very impressive. But yeah, that's about it for this video. Don't forget to like and subscribe. I'll see you guys next time. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.